Hello everyone. A very good afternoon to all those who are watching us on this FD video live session. I am Nidhi Singh, advocate, NRI Legal Services. And to those of you who were with me on my last episode, I had indeed promised that I would be in my next episode coming up with introducing two experts on the hottest topic going on in India today, which is the GST, that is the Goods and Services Tax. As we all know, this is the latest law under the income tax, which is now a uniformed taxation scheme, which has just been enforced from 1st of July. And there has been a lot of debate on it. There's been a lot of discussions on it, whether it's good, bad, what kind of repercussions it's going to have. But today's episode is going to be focused only and only on a GST, which is an income tax applicable all over India. How does it affect NRIs? But before we go into that, I have to start with my introductions. I have with me Mr. Sanjeev Sharma. He's a professional chartered accountant practicing for the last 23 years. The speciality that Sanjeev has is that Sanjeev actually also has been guiding us throughout our team. He's on our panel, specializing in the income tax and other affairs of the non-resident Indians. So that is his uniqueness. He knows what are the laws, what are the taxations that are applicable to non-resident Indians. This kind of makes him in a very unique category, and I wanted to introduce Sanjeev to you. And Sanjeev has very cordially, he's a very busy man, but he has accepted our offer and has joined us. So thank you, Sanjeev. Thank you very much. I have another lovely young lady. As you can see, she is newly married, and she is a chartered accountant. Her name is Anusha Sharma. Anusha, by the way, is a GST expert. I mean, when I saw Anusha, I couldn't believe it that someone so young is so trained on such a technical topic as GST. And Anusha has been very kind and has joined us for you guys to make you aware what the GST means and what does it especially means to non-resident Indians. So guys, I'm not going to take the stage now. The stage is on them. So my first question is to Sanjeev. Sanjeev, tell our viewers this afternoon that what is this GST and what are its impacts on non-resident Indians?
Yes, GST just newly, it is a uniform tax structure in India because various taxes are there: entry tax, entertainment tax, VAT, and all service tax. All has been clubbed under one regime, that is GST.
So those are no longer applicable.
Yes, these are no longer applicable.
Yeah, and now this is the universal taxes, the uniform tax is GST.
Yes, the main phenomenon was this, that it is a single tax structure. Now tax will be charged on a single rate.
Okay, great.
So further it is divided in between center and states, but the rate of tax will be uniform throughout the country.
Yeah. And as a practicing chartered accountant, Sanjeev, do you feel that this has been a good move by the government? Because you keep hearing stories whether it's going to be good, and I'm sure time will tell. But as a professional chartered accountant looking at taxation for so long, do you think it's a positive move by our government?
Very positive move.
Okay.
It will certainly change the way of doing the business. The most important thing, it will change the unorganized sector, which was prevailing in India, and non-payment of tax by the people. It will just keep all the unorganized sector in the organized way.
Wonderful.
So it is a very good move, and it will give a very good boost to the economy. GDP will certainly going to rise.
So there you are. Sanjeev has absolutely everything positive to say about the GST, and as you can see that number one, he says that it's going to regulate the unregulated sectors of our economy, which in India, as we know, was a very serious issue. And so in this regard, we should really take it as a positive move. Anusha, my question is to you, since you're the expert on GST. GST, my number one question is also a central tax, also a state tax. There's a little bit of confusion. If you can tell the viewers exactly what it means, the state GST and the central GST, that will be great.
Actually, India is a federal economy, and it is following the dual structure model of GST, like Canada it is following. So whenever there is an interstate supply, like supply from one state to another state, then IGST would be levied. This is integrated GST, and this will be collected by the central government, and then the share will be given to the state government.
Okay, but that is internal. To the end consumer, it is one tax.
Yeah, it is one tax. And when there is an intra-state supply, then two taxes would be levied: central GST and state GST. And the rates would be the sum total.
The rates would be the sum total. Okay, wonderful.
The IGST rate would be the sum total of rate of SGST and CGST. So basically, rate is sum. SGST and CGST are 50% of IGST tax.
Okay. As a chartered accountant, Anusha, looking at GST, do you think the complications of chartered accountants to now assess the tax and everything, have they increased? What do you think? I mean, or do you think that it is something that you guys have to train yourself to do, or you think no, it's easy and you can.
Naturally, it's a new law for everyone. Yeah. So every chartered accountant or every other profession like lawyers need to study the new law.
Yeah. Okay.
And there are many compliances which have increased as compared to the existing laws like service tax and VAT. So naturally, if professionals would be trained, only then they will be able to advise the clients.
Right. I have actually a number of questions that I'm going to take beyond the GST to Sanjeev and Anusha, but quickly, Anusha, because this is what is the main thing that so many people who stay abroad wants to know as to GSTs for Indians. Can you highlight what it really means to non-resident Indians and how does it affect them, and what are the areas they need to look at to make sure they are GST compliant?
Actually, many of the non-resident Indians or any other foreigners may be having a property in India.
Yeah.
And they
all have properties in India. Yes.
And they would have been rented out for commercial purpose. So the exemption is provided to if the residential dwelling is rented out for use as residence. But other than that purpose, if the dwelling is rented out, then it is taxable. And if it is the annual turnover exceeds 20 lakhs, then it is taxable under GST. So one has to take registration.
Right. So this is very important. GST for all of those who've got commercial properties in India, it is applicable to only those. Residential, as Anusha has just told us, is exempted. But even in residential, if any of your residential properties are being let out or rented out for commercial purposes and your rent is above 20 lakhs, as you said, then it comes, the GST is applicable. So you have to understand that sitting in a foreign country, it is not as if GST is not applicable to you. It is very much applicable to you. Any other area that you feel GST?
Yeah, there is one more provision in IGST, which is Integrated GST Act, that there will be a refund.
Okay.
The provision of refund to the foreign tourists.
Oh, okay.
And foreign tourists, they have defined, the law has defined the one who is not normally resident in India and he comes to stay in India for not more than 6 months.
Oh, okay.
And if he comes to India,
wonderful.
Whatever goods he buys here and he takes out of India while going back, the tax charge on that, the IGST charge on those goods would be refunded.
So is this, Anusha, is this
actually
notified?
This provision is not yet notified.
But they're coming up with it, and hopefully this will
be. The procedures are still coming.
Proposal is there.
The provision is there in GST.
Okay, so I will just explain this. When I as a foreign tourist go into UK, whatever shopping I do, I get my VAT refunded right at the airport, and everybody is aware of that. This is a similar provision. If you are coming to India and you don't normally stay in India, then she says there is a provision now under the new GST scheme for the benefit of the foreign tourist that whatever you buy in India and when you are taking out the goods from India, you can apply for a refund, and the GST which is levied on you will be refunded, and it is refundable. So these are some of the things that are highlighted in GST, what is applicable to non-resident Indians. But we are going to go a little beyond that, and I would like generally to ask Sanjeev. Sanjeev, a lot of our clients worldwide have properties here. They ask us to resolve their disputes, then they ask us, and we have taken his help in a number of issues, and they ask for a lot of questions on repatriations. I have been trying to answer them, but now that you are here and Anusha is here, and I want them to hear it from the horse's mouth, and I would want you to tell what are the main things which you feel everybody should know when they are buying or selling properties in India?
Very good question. Very good question. Because the taxation in case of NRI people,
Yeah.
that if anyone is buying their property here, they have to tax or deduct the tax at the maximum rate, that is 20% plus.
Okay.
So later on that has to be claimed as a refund after filing the return.
Okay.
So there is one provision for the low deduction of tax also.
Oh, lovely.
So NRI people can apply to the international taxation here in Chandigarh.
I don't think anybody is aware of this, Sanjeev, and I think this is a very
Very
valuable
important point. Yes,
Very.
valuable point. So whatever tax is there, whatever the liability is there, they can straight away pay the liability
Right.
and get the property registered or sell the property to the buyer. So there is a very effective saving in the tax also, and blockage of working capital also.
Okay. So Sanjeev is saying that the capital gain tax that is refundable to individuals, it can be applied prior, not getting a refund after. This provision is there for all of those. I'm sure this will actually get us a lot of questions and a lot of inquiries on this. I would suggest that, of course, NRI Legal Services you all are aware of and you're in touch with. There is another, especially because we are getting so many inquiries on GST and other taxation issues. There is another website which is a very responsive website. It is called the gstconnect.in, in which the chartered accountants are available to respond to your queries as they receive it. So I really suggest that if you want to get in touch with a direct chartered accountant, then this is also our venture, gstconnect.in. Any question regarding taxations or GST or any other financial questions regarding the regulations, I would highly recommend you guys can write to them, and you can talk to them, and you sort out to resolve your issues through the gstconnect.in. So this was very valuable, what Sanjeev has just shared with us. As an expert, he knows best that you need to apply. You can apply for a refund. Anything else, Sanjeev? I mean, we keep coming to you and you keep helping us. What are the other things that all the cases that we forwarded? Anything specific you know from the buyer side or the seller side that the people must know, because they come all the way to sell their properties and they face a lot of problems. So anything else you think our viewers should know?
Yes, there is one more area which we usually come, that is the deduction of tax. When an NRI is going to sell the property to Indian buyer,
Right.
he has to get the TAN number, that is tax deduction number.
Okay.
So at the time of sale registration, he usually say I don't have the TAN number, I have to get it applied. So it normally takes 10 to 15 days, and the time is wasted. NRI has come very long way to India to get it there. So it is for the NRI to get the TAN checked from his buyer whether he has taken or not at the time of payment, because at the time of payment he has to deduct and deposit the tax.
Oh, okay.
So this is another area he has to check before going for the agreement to sell.
So जिन लोगों को संजीव बता रहे हैं हमें, और मैं ये बताना चाहूँगी सबको ये जानना चाहिए कि जब भी आप अपनी प्रॉपर्टी को बेचने के लिए इंडिया आते हैं और आपका जो बायर है वो एक इंडियन रेजिडेंट है, तो उसके पास टैन नंबर, दैट इज टैक्स डिडक्टेबल एट सोर्स, टैन नंबर होना जरूरी है उस बायर के पास, तभी वो एक नॉन रेजिडेंट इंडियन से प्रॉपर्टी खरीद सकता है. ही कैन ओनली बाय अ प्रॉपर्टी फ्रॉम अ नॉन रेजिडेंट इंडियन इफ ही हैज अ टैन नंबर. एंड यूजुअली we have seen a lot of times people have traveled from the United States, from Canada, from UK, and they are ready to sell the properties. They've come to do the registered sale deeds, and at that time it is discovered all of a sudden that the buyer does not have a TAN number, and very precious time. Normally they have 2 weeks off from their work, and it takes about 10, 12, 15 days. Sometimes, knowing India, and if there's a holiday or something, it can even go. It can even take more than that, and you actually waste your complete trip. So, Sanjeev, that was a very valuable information that all those who are looking for selling their properties in India to an Indian resident, please make sure before you make your trip plans or your sale deed date that the buyer already has acquired a TAN number. This you must insist that he has. So this has been absolutely a great information session with Sanjeev and Anusha, and we would be doing similar such episodes. We would be coming in with a lot of suggestions to how you need to structure your financial details. Meanwhile, I would really appreciate that we would really get motivated if we get a lot of questions from you. If you have any, this is absolutely a free consultation service, and this is part of our continuous efforts of disseminating information to all of you, making sure that you are fully empowered to handle and protect your properties in India. And I really thank Sanjeev and Anusha for taking time this afternoon and being with us as professionals. They're very busy. Thank you, Sanjeev. Thank you, Anusha.
Thank you.
It's been lovely talking to you, and I would really invite them for more such episodes. Please like, subscribe and share our video session, and make sure a lot of people get to hear. This is very useful information, and people can really be helped and can be protected. For any financial questions, gstconnect.in, nrilegalservices.com. Sanjeev Sharma and Anusha Sharma and their team of chartered accountants are continuously working with NRI Legal Services, and they would be very happy to respond to all your queries. Thank you so much for watching us.
Thank you.